Yeah, it gives dimension, but how? It is giving you the result like we typed Vishaka x equals to 10, then x was returning 10. So shape also contains a tuple where we have the list of rows and list of columns. So like 5 rows and 5 columns we have here. So it's returning you that value. Yes or no? Can I say that this is answering your question? Otherwise, let me know if still this is not clear. For example, let me run it. See, now it is giving you a tuple. Why that 5 comma 5 is giving a tuple? So you know, like in X I folded 10, 10 is an integer. Integer is a data type and tuple is also data type. So this attribute holds this tuple value. Okay. Yeah, Parag, you joined late today. I already shared a link. From that link, you have to download it. Already I shared on your email. Please check your email. Can we continue from here? Vishaka, is this clear or shall I elaborate it? Okay, what are you not getting? Just unmute and say me. I'm not able to understand basically then what exactly is not clear. Could you please unmute yourself and tell me what is not clear? Could you please let me know what is not clear so that I can help you? Could you please tell me what is not clear so that I can help you? Does anyone else has any question on this or we are good to go? Vishaka, can you tell me? I'm not able to hear you. Otherwise, if there is some headphone problem, you can just sort it out and let me know. Then you can ask. I will keep this document open. I'm not able to hear you because. Okay. So just fix it and let me know at the end of the session. Again, I will ask what is the confusion. So now we are going to discuss about NumPy arrays. What is this? This is one of the document available here where the array term that we discussed with 1D and 2D with some functions like zeros, like ones, like identity matrix. I'm going to tell you same thing with some more examples so that you can feel more comfortable with this. So now the next document that I wanted to open is this NumPy array. As I already told you about a couple of terms related to NumPy is about numbers in Python. There are many shortcuts, there are many inbuilt features, attributes available in this library, which we can easily import and then use. So let's see how it works. So NumPy is a linear algebra library for Python, where basically we mainly handle the numbers related data. Fine. And for this, we need to install NumPy. But when you install Anaconda, by default it comes. So we don't need to take care of any separate installation. And first, I will clear the previous output before I start any execution. Like each and every library comes with some official link documentation. So if you want to get the official documentation about NumPy, this is a link captured over here. I'm going to tell you about how NumPy can be used with basics up to advanced, like up to some level in advance on day one, that is in today's session. And then you can ask whatever confusion you have, like I told you earlier. So in the previous basics document, I explained many things, and same thing you can see, like same points you can see are documented in this document, so that in future, if you want to get any reference, you can easily use it. So import is a command to import any library that we have seen in packages and modules. What I want to import NumPy as NP. NP is object name. So here you can see this is the first run of the code, means this executed, and I can go to the next section and I can use it. So like in the previous example I gave, like in the previous document, I gave example of 1D array, 2D array. Again, I'm going to tell you the same thing with some inputs. So here I'm going to take a list as input, where my list is the name of the list, and that contains 1, 2, 3 as elements. These elements will be supplied to this my list, and then we'll try to print it over here. How? That you can see now, that if I just say print it, then 1, 2, 3 are coming in the result. In the previous document also, I told you from NumPy, I can call a function name array, and then I can supply this list inside array, and then result I can capture in a variable. So what will happen if I will do like this? Let's see. If I just print it now, you can see V1 contains an array with 3 elements. And if I check the shape of it, you can see it's a 1-dimension array with 3 elements. Why it is 1 dimension? Because you can see it's a 1-dimension. Let me tell you, it's a 1-dimension array where we do not have more than 1 row in the list. So we have only 1 row that contains 3 columns. So here you can see 1D array with 3 elements, and 1D array is also known as vector. What we call it? We also call it vector. So 1-dimension array is also known as vector. But how to define 2-dimension array? That I will tell you with 2 techniques. One is that zeros, ones, identity predefined function. Another one I will tell you with list of list. So can you see that my matrix is a list that contains 3 lists inside this? So can I say that I have a list of lists? My matrix is a list that contains 3 lists inside this. Can I say this? Yes or no? So nested list, my matrix is a nested list that contains 3 inner lists, where the first list contains 1, 2, 3, second list contains 4, 5, 6, and third list contains 7, 8, and 9. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? Perfect. I got only 2 replies of now. Okay, fine. Great. So this is a list of list. My matrix is a list that consists of 3 lists. And now if I check it, Nikhil, you can find that my matrix is name of my list that contains 3 lists inside this. Correct? I said that from NumPy NP NumPy library, I'm going to call array, and in that I'm going to supply this list over here. Correct? And then the output of this array will be passed to a variable named v, and that variable will be printed over here. How? Let's see now. So this time you will get a 2-dimension matrix, and if you want to check the dimension, you can see 3 rows and 3 columns we have. So this is coming as 3 rows and 3 columns, where we have 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. So this nested list is giving you the result as 3 cross 3 array, that with shape we are getting the result, as well as how this list comes and how post conversion in the form of array it comes. We have both of the results in front of us. So this is something where I have done again the casting. Like earlier I told you about conversion of float to integer. Now I told you about list conversion to array. But in the previous sheet, in the previous class notes, I told you about conversion of a list into array where we have input available as 1D list. This time I gave you example of a list that contains 2 dimension, means this list is a 1D list where we have a nested list. But when I convert it to array, then first element became the first element, second element became the second element, third element became the third element. But here these elements are lists, but here these elements are rows. So row 1, row 2, row 3, and each row contains columns. So we have 3 rows in output, and these rows and columns are part of array. And when I checked how many rows and how many columns are there, I got to know 3 rows and 3 columns. Clear? Clear? Nikhil, just now I explained the same thing. Whatever you asked now, same thing I explained. So array contains 3 rows and 3 columns. So what is 2-dimension array? That is known as matrix, Nikhil. 1D is vector and 2D is matrix. Fine. And this will be more clear with shape. Okay, Vishaka, good. So now it's clear. Great. Let's see some inbuilt methods which are predefined. Some built-in methods which are predefined. So already I told you about how to import NumPy, and this time I'm telling about arange. So have we worked on arange earlier? Yes or no? Have we worked on arange earlier? Yes or no? Yes or no? Have we worked on arange earlier? No. We worked on range. So Pratish, earlier we worked on range, R-A-N-G-E. I will tell you again. So range is a function that gives you numbers as a generator. How? In core Python, we have a function named range that allows you to generate a list of numbers that will come. I said I will generate a list via range. Let's say I will start from 0 up to 10. So 0 to 9 numbers will be returned, and let it run, it will come. See, 0 to 9 numbers are coming. Next to this, I set for range, let's say again 0 to 10, and print I. Can you see that? Again, it is giving 0 to 9. So range is a function that gives you number from start point to end point before end point. Like if the range is up to 10, then it is giving you up to 9. Like in indexing also we have seen. So range is a function that we discussed in core Python. Now range gives you a list of numbers. Arange gives you array of numbers. So this time the function is not range. The function is arange. And this I'm calling from NumPy. See, NumPy library has a function arange. That is, with a given range, you can generate an array. A for array, then range. So we can generate an array with a given range. How? I said that from 0 to 11, I will generate. So can you see that I got an array where I have 0 to 10 as elements? Correct, everyone? So 0 is my start point, 11 is my end point. This time I said comma 2, means my step size is 2. Means after 0, you will get 0 plus 2. So my start point is 0. So 0 plus 2 will give you 2. 2 plus 2 will give you 4. 4 plus 2 will give you 6. 6 plus 2 will give you 8. And will stop at 11. Means this time instead of getting all these numbers, you will get only even numbers in this range, and that is in front of you. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes or no? Yes or no? Clear? Great. So earlier I discussed about zeros as a function in the previous document. Now again I'm using zeros. This time I will use it with, okay, great. So Weber said crystal clear, that's great. This time I said I will call zeros with 1D and 2D. So first of all, we are clear, like we can create 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension, multiple dimension array. But instead of telling about 3D, 4D, 5D, currently I'm focusing on 1D and 2D, so that at least you must have the clear cut idea about it, that what is going on in the class. So now I said that np dot zeros, then again np dot zeros. But the difference is, first time I passed only one number, second time I passed two numbers. So if I pass only one number, it means I will get an array of one dimension. And if I pass two numbers, it means I will get an array of two dimension, where we are getting rows and we are getting columns. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes or no? This time I'm getting rows as well as columns. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes or no? Perfect. Easy. So 1D array, 2D array we got, and with shape we can check the shape also, but that is in front of you only still. Now I will call once. So I said that I want to create a 1D array with 3 elements. So can you see that all elements are coming as 1 because function I called as once, and how many elements I'm getting? 3. So can we generate only square matrix like 2 by 2, 4 by 4, 5 by 5? No. If you want, you can change this as well. How? Here I said 3, 4. So can you see that 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4 columns? Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes or no? So that is how basically we can generate arrays. Perfect. Next to this, we have Linspace. Linspace means it returns evenly spaced numbers over a specified interval. So for example, I said from 1 to 10, like my start point will be 1 and my end point will be 10. How many numbers I want to generate? I want to generate 5 numbers. I want to generate total 5 numbers where my start number will be 1 and stop number will be 10. So means first number will be 1 and last number will be 10. So if you check it now, the first number is 1 and the second number is 10. But I mentioned like evenly spaced. So can you see that 1 plus 2.25 is 3.25. 3.25 plus 2.25 is 5.5. 5.5 plus 2.25 is 7.75. And 7.75 plus 2.25 is 10. So between any consecutive numbers, the difference is 2.25. And that is how you are getting the result. The total numbers you are getting are 5, where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the 5 numbers. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes, no, can't say. So this is the meaning of Linspace. That gives you evenly spaced numbers from a given range up to range and how many numbers you want to get. Clear? So Weber has to repeat it again. Weber, just check the definition. This is a function that returns evenly spaced number, means equal spaced numbers. I said that I want to start from 1. So you can see first number is 1. I said I want to stop at 10. So you can see the last number is 10. And I said how many numbers I want to get? 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers you are getting. And the difference between any consecutive numbers, if you check any consecutive number, the difference is 2.25. So evenly spaced means in any consecutive numbers like first and second, second and third, third and fourth, fourth and fifth, the difference is 2.25. Is this clear now? Vaibhav? Everyone? Perfect. Then what is the definition of identity matrix I told you? Like what exactly the definition of identity matrix? Identity matrix allows you to create an identity matrix means identity matrix allows you to create a square matrix. So here I passed 5. So it will give me 5 rows and 5 columns, where in identity matrix only diagonal elements will be 1 and remaining elements will be 0. Diagonal element will be 1 and remaining element will be 0. So in the previous document also I have given you this reference, and here also. So I don't need to pass 2 dimension like 5 cross 5, because identity matrix means it gives you square matrix. This is the default property of identity matrix, that it gives you the square matrix. So here you got 5 rows and 5 columns, where you can see that diagonal elements are 1 and non-diagonal elements are zeros. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes, no? Can't say? Perfect. So there are few more properties here which we need to discuss. Fine. It will take another 10 to 15 minutes, but feel free to ask, and please repeat it this weekend, because I'm just preparing a base with some predefined functions, attributes, so that you can understand what is going on. Next to rand int that we discussed earlier, now I called rand. So there is a library named random that contains one of the function named rand. So rand allows you to generate any number, but those numbers will be uniformly distributed over 0 and 1. So between the range of 0 and 1, you will get the numbers. How? First time I said I want to get only 2 numbers. Second time means with 1 dimension. Second time I said like I want to get the 5 cross 5, means 5 rows and 5 columns here. How? That we will see now. For example, if I run this and then if I run this, the definition that I mentioned, like you will, rand is a predefined function that allows you to get the number over the range of 0 to 1. So can you see that all these numbers that you can see here are in between 0 to 1? Like none of the number is above 1 and none of the number is below 0, that is negative. Correct? Why I'm telling you this? Why we are working on these kind of functions? Whenever you want to generate some dummy data, some random data, then this is helpful. Correct, everyone? So now I'm getting the data in the range of 0 to 1 with 1D as well as 2D. So if I pass a single number, that is 1D. If I pass 2 numbers, that is 2D. So here you can see I got the first output with 2 elements, the second output with 5 cross 5, where 5 rows and 5 columns are there. That is how the result is coming. Clear, everyone? Yes or no? Perfect. Now after rand, I'm telling you about rand n, because might be you don't want to get the element with in between just 0 and 1. You know, when we will plot the data on x-axis and y-axis, so you know this is positive range for y, this is negative range for y, and this is positive range for x, and this is negative range for x. So I hope all of you know about these kind of graphs, like this is x-axis, this is y-axis, then this is positive for x, this is negative for x, because this intersection point is 0, 0. Then this is positive for y and this is negative for y. So for x, this is positive, this is negative. For y, this is positive and this is negative. Can I say that all of you are aware about these terms? Yes or no? I will repeat once again. We have two x's. One is x, because you know after analytics we are going to work on visualization. This is y. So for x, this is positive, this is negative. For y, this is positive, this is negative. Correct? And this intersection point is 0, 0. 0 for x, 0 for y. This point. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? Yes, no, can't say. Perfect. So if in case I want to get some numbers in any range like positive, negative, so can you see that rand n? Rand n, first I said I want to get two numbers. So can you see numbers are coming? Correct? Just one sec. Hello. So here you can see that I'm getting two numbers in the result. Next to this, I said 5 comma 2 means 5 rows and 2 columns. So can you see that row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5 are coming, and column 1, column 2. So I got 5 rows and 2 columns over here. Correct, everyone? I got 5 rows and 2 columns over here. Correct? Now next to this, one more point if you observe, I'm getting few negative numbers over there. So means if you want to get only positive numbers in visualization to plot only in positive part, like the way I told you earlier, then you can use rand. And if in case you want to get positive and negative both of the range, then you can use this rand n. Correct? I hope this makes sense to all of you. Correct? When we will work on visualization, like as of now, I'm telling about the existing features. After this, I'm going to tell you about application of this, because when we will work on visualization, when we will work on matplotlib and seaborn, I'm going to use this to pass the data to graphs. You will be able to recall and understand this again. But is this clear? Like rand can give you only positive numbers between 0 to 1, and this can give you positive as well as negative numbers? Yes or no? Another point is both are coming from random library. Like these numbers can keep on changing. So can you see that currently the first number is 0.28? As the name itself is random. So can you see again I got random number. If I rerun it, again I got random number. So numbers can keep on changing because I'm generating some random numbers. So if I don't want to get between 0 and 1 only, I want to get the number in some more range. So then one more function we have, that is rand int. So rand int is for random integers. Here you can see from 1 to 100, I want to generate the random integers. So in the range of 1 to 100, you can see there are total 100 elements. Correct? If I run it via loop, if I run it multiple times, numbers will keep on generating. So first time when I ran this, I got the number 22. Second time when I ran this, I said that I will pass one more parameter. Why? Because this is my start point, this is my end point. This can give you any number, including 1 and 100 itself, in any range. Like in the range of 1 to 100, it can give you any number. If I rerun it, 22 will again change, let's say 77. But I said that from 1 to 100, I want to get multiple numbers. So this time I'm passing one more argument over here, that is 10. So if I run this, you can see from 1 to 100, I got total 10 random numbers. So we have a way to generate positive, we have a way to generate negative, we have a way to generate 0 to 1, we have a way to generate any numbers, any count of numbers in any range. Can I say that this is clear to you? Yes or no? Clear, everyone? So when I started basics of Python, then I told you about data types. Now when I started NumPy, Still, I'm telling you about basics related to NumPy. So features wise, we are trying to understand now so that from the coming session onwards, we can apply these features. So that from coming session, we can think of applying these features. Make sense, everyone? Now from NumPy, I'm calling a range. I told you a range gives you the number. So I said 25. So 0 to 25 means 0 to 24, it will give you the numbers. So this ARR will get a number from 0 to 24. And what it will give you? It will give you 10 numbers between the range of 0 to 50. So first I will get the number from 0 to 24 in ARR. That is 1D array. Then I will get from range 0 to 50 total 10 numbers with the help of this randint that I explained in the above section also. And that will be captured in a variable again. So if I run this now and then call ARR, so can you see 0 to 24 numbers are there? And can you see in this one, second one, 10 numbers came? Because I'm going to apply this with some more logic now. Can I say that how these two variables got the value is clear to all of you? I will wait for 10 seconds. Does anyone has any doubt on this? Perfect. Now, what exactly shape does? Shape allows you to check the shape, means number of rows, number of columns. Now, what I'm doing, I said as this contains 0 to 24 as element, I want to reshape it. So how many elements are there in this 0 to 24? Total 25 elements. I said I want to reshape it. Reshape as 5 cross 5 means 5 rows and 5 columns. So now if I run this, you can see I'm getting 5 rows and 5 columns. But how? First 5 numbers I got as first row. Next 5 numbers I got as up to 9. First 5 numbers I got in first row. Next 5 numbers I got in next row. Next 5 numbers I got in next row, and so on. So these 25 elements converted to 5 rows which are coming in front of you. So can I say that reshape allows you to change the shape of any given array, and I converted this 1D array, that is ARR, to 2-dimension array? Can I say this? Yes or no? So Renal, what I have done, I will tell you. First, I called this a range and I generated an array with 1 dimension with element from 0 to 24, because 25 means it will start from 0, it will go up to whatever number you pass minus 1. So 0 to 24 are coming because the range is 24 over here. And the second one, Renal, is 0 to 50. I said 10 numbers, so you are getting random numbers from the range of 0 to 50. We are including 0 and 50. Any number you can get from this range 0 to 50, and the total number of elements you will get as 10. That is coming over here. So ARR contains an array, and this also contains an array, and both are 1 dimension. So we have a function here, Renal, everyone, named reshape, that allows you to change the shape. How? Currently that ARR contains 1 dimension with 25 elements that we generated in the above section. And I just called on this ARR, the same variable reshape, and I said 5 cross 5. Means 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 came in the result. So reshape allows you to change the shape of a given array. Like, can we modify array after definition? Yes. So is this clear now, Renal, and is this clear now, Weber? Is this clear, everyone? Perfect. So what I'm doing, as you know, there are 5 rows and 5 columns. We can check it. Correct. Just now I told you there are 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But can system return it? Yes. So reshape is a function that we call to change the shape, and then we called attribute name shape. So instead of elements, it will give you the shape. Now how? You can see 5 cross 5 as shape is come. So earlier ARR has shape as 1D array. Now we convert it into 2D with 5 rows and 5 columns. Are we good to go? Great. Now post this, another array that we created with 10 random numbers is this. There are few predefined functions, min and max. As name themselves explaining, max means to get the maximum element out of it. So in this, the maximum element we have is 49, and min is to get the minimum element out of it. So you can see the minimum element is 0. So if I check it now, the minimum element is coming as 0. So min and max are function that allows you to get the minimum and maximum element that you don't have to check manually, because as of now we have just 10 elements. But if we have millions of or thousands of elements, then these functions are very helpful. Correct, everyone? Can I say we are good to go as of now? Yes or no? Perfect. So I also told you about indexing when we were working on array, list, string. Here also I'm going to repeat the same thing. So indexing wise, left to right, for 20 the index is 0, for 10 the index is 1. Can I say that this is clear to all of you? We have worked on it. So indexes means Python stores indexes for list and tuple and string. Same thing applicable in case of array. So the first element at index number 0, second element at index number 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. 4, 5, and so on. Correct? And so on. So if I don't want to get the maximum element, that is 49, I want to see its position. So can you see that 49 is available at position 5? So that 5 is coming in the result. And if I want to check the position of minimum element, so that element is at position 3. That is also coming in the result. Why? Because 0 is at position 3. So now we have both of the options. Either you can return the element with min and max, or arg min arg max means that can give you the position of that with the indexing concept that we have discussed earlier also. I will take a pause for 10 seconds again. Does anyone has any doubt on this? Please ping me in the chat box. Does anyone has any doubt on this? Perfect. Now, what I'm doing here is, I said that the shape, so Weber asked to repeat the reshape. So Weber by default, it will be repeated here. Okay. So as I told you, one dimension array is known as vector. So have you seen that we created this ARR with 24 elements, 25 elements from 0 to 24. Then we tried to reshape, but we did not assign it back to ARR. Means ARR still contains those 25 elements. How? If you want to check it now, this is in front of you. So ARR contains total 25 elements from 0 to 24. And you can also see that count is coming as 25 because when I called shape on it, it is coming over. Yes or no? I just called reshape. So Weber, let's focus on this now, everyone. So 5 cross 5 means 5 rows and 5 columns. So if these 25 elements I want to split into 5 rows and 5 columns, so it will give you 5 rows and 5 columns. How? So these 25 elements I can break in 5 5, so that I will get 5 rows, and in each row I will get 5 columns. How? You can see it now. Correct? So reshape allows you to change the shape, and this time from one dimension I converted into 2 dimension. Clear? Perfect. Again I called reshape, and this time what I have done, I said that instead of 5 rows and 5 columns, I want to generate just 1 row and 25 columns. So see the result. Here we are getting just 1 square bracket, and here we are getting 2 square bracket. Means within your array there is further division where we have 1 row with 25 columns. So here you got 1 row with total 25 column, where each element is a column. Like here 0 is in first column, 1 is in second column. So here each element became a column. Can I say that this is clear? Perfect. I said that 5 rows and 5 columns we tried, 1 row 25 column we tried. Let's reverse it. So first of all, row come horizontally and column comes vertically. This is clear. So when I say that 1 row 25 columns, so you can see these elements are coming vertically as columns. Now I said that 25 rows and 1 column. So 25 rows and 1 column, how it is coming? You can see each element became a row. So in first row we have 0, in second row we have 1, in third row we have 2, in fourth row we have 3, and fifth row we have 5, and so on. That is how 25 rows and 1 column is coming in the result. Clear? So this is 1 row with 25 columns where vertically this is coming, and this is 25 rows and 1 column that is also in front of you. Can I say this is clear? And you know, if I call shape on this, it will return you whatever shape you have given. So we are almost done now. I said that if in case you want to check the data type of something, so earlier we have seen float, how it comes. This time as I passed integer, so for integer it is coming as int32, and if we check the type of it, earlier also we checked it's an array. Correct? Then I already told you, if input I passed as a list to array and then check the shape and then print it, so you can see the shape is coming as it's 1D with 3 elements, and v1 will give you the output like it's an array with 1 2 3 as the result here. Correct? So this is something I told you earlier also. Now if this 1 row with 3 columns I want to convert into, this is 1 row with 3 columns. This time I said I will reshape it to 1 row and 3 columns. So do you think it will impact something? No. Result is coming like 1 comma 3 now. What? Why it is doing so? Because same thing I already told you. When you reshape it, then it creates array with the elements based on how the distribution you decide. Do you remember this single and double I asked you to analyze? Correct? So this last section is just an example like what exactly we are supposed to do next week. Even if this is too much now, not clear, don't worry at all. We are going to do it next week on Monday itself. But at least up to this section, it should be clear. So I will wait for your confirmation. Just run this document and let me know if you have any confusion, any section, we can clear it. Okay. So take your time, run this, and then let me know all your doubts. Feel free to contact us if in case you need any further technical or training help. Thanks.